Hey class. You got a quiz on Tuesday, yeah? So hopefully you're tuning in so you can get everything as ironed out as possible by Monday. Because Monday you'll have a chance to ask me questions about whatever you need to ask me. So I'm hoping you'll come into class Monday knowing as much as possible. Because Monday is when we'll review, and then Tuesday's the quiz. So don't wait. Don't wait till Monday night. Monday night's too late. If you study Monday night and then you have questions, you don't have me to ask. So make sure you get as much studying in as you can before Monday so that you can really use it as your last chance to learn some stuff. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to break down, I think there's 5 homeworks here. So I'm going to post 5 different videos, one for every lesson, and you can just tune in for the ones that you think you need. So we'll start with this one. So the homework on page 3, that's what I'm doing. So let's go. So number 1, it's a trapezoid. So you'll need to know the formula for the area of a trapezoid, which is A equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height. Okay. Now, what do all those variables stand for? Well, base 1 is the shorter of the 2 parallel sides. So you're looking for the parallel sides. You're not looking for the top or bottom or anything like that. You're looking for the sides that are parallel. Now base 2 is the longer of the 2 parallel sides. And then the height is the distance between those 2 parallel sides. So that's the height. So I just want to show you super fast that if I was to grab this and rotate it, then notice who's the base and who's the height doesn't change, right? The base and height might be vertical if that's how the figure is drawn. You're looking for the parallel sides. And the height, which you normally would definitely think about as being vertical, it might not be vertical. It might be horizontal because the height is not defined as an up and down dimension. The height is defined as the distance between the parallel sides. So that distance might be measured horizontally. It might even be measured on a diagonal. Who knows? But keep that in mind as you try to figure out what dimension is represented by which. Okay. So anyway, at this point, let's plug in. So we go A equals 1/2 of the 6 plus 12 times 8. Then from here, we're definitely doing the addition inside of the parentheses first. That gives us an 18. And then if you know what 18 times 8 is, then of course just do 18 times 8 and then chop it in half. But I don't know what 18 times 8 is, so I'm going to just do the 1/2 times 18 first. You're allowed to do that. You can do this in sort of any order. So if I do half of 18, I get 9. And then 9 times 8 I know is 72. So our final answer is 72. And it's not inches, remember, it's square inches. And that's it for number 1. So number 2 is a triangle. And the formula for a triangle is area equals 1/2 times base times height. And again, I don't love this drawing. I think most of us are still thinking that base means bottom. And that's mostly true. But sometimes, maybe just maybe, I'm going to give you this drawing right here. Okay, see this? And if you're looking for the base to be the bottom, it just might not be there. Maybe you have no idea what that side is. And that's okay, because that's not really what the base is. The base doesn't have to be the bottom. The base can be literally any side. So I'm going to mark that, any side. And then what the height has to be is just the distance to the opposite vertex. All right. So what? So what that means is, as you look over here, if you were trying to find your base, you could let this 6-foot side right here be the base, because it's a side. That could be our base. But then if that's our base, and these endpoints are vertices A and B, then over here is your opposite vertex, it would be vertex C. And to find the distance to the opposite side, you'd make sure you'd run along a perpendicular. But that dimension here, the 10, could be the height if our triangle was twisted around or whatever, okay? So even if things were sort of laying on their side, I want to make sure you recognize which dimension is which. Again, it wasn't. This thing was sort of stood up straight like this. And when it's oriented like that, I think it's obvious that the base is 6 and the height is 10. But make sure you're thinking about the less obvious situation where maybe your triangle is all crooked and your dimensions are weird, okay? Just don't get caught off guard. Uh-oh. Alright, let me put that back where it was. Oh boy, okay, hold on. Eek. Alright, well, right there is fine. We'll leave it right there. Anyway, when you take your quiz, I think I also warned you that I do always want you to show me these 3 steps. So the first step was writing the formula, then I want to see you substitute, and then I can see an answer. But I want 3 steps. So we are now substituting. So we'll say A equals 1/2 times the base of 6 times the height of 10. So now if you can do all that math in your head, be my guest. I think you probably can. 6 times 10 is 60, half of 60 is 30. So our final answer is that our area is 30 square feet. So that's 2. Let's do 3. So 3, somebody out there might be looking at this shape and thinking that they should draw a line here to cut it into a rectangle and a triangle. And you can do that if you want to. That's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. I just don't think you should. I hope that when you guys look at this, you still see it as a trapezoid, because it is. So we should be using our same formula from before. 1/2 B1 plus B2 times H. The bases, again, are the 2 parallel sides, and this time they are oriented vertically, like I was mentioning before. So the bases will be the 5 and the 9. And the height will be the distance between those bases, so that'll be 5. So there, we've substituted. Now we can do our math. It's going to be 1/2 times 14 times 5. So I think for this one, I will just take half of 14 real fast, call it 7. And then 7 times 5 will give us 35 as a final answer. And that'll be 35 square centimeters. So that's it for 3. We can do 4. Alright, 4 is a parallelogram. And I'm going to just play with this again a little bit. As you look at this, you're probably thinking the base is 8, the height is 16. That's true. But again, what if I took the figure and laid it on its side like this or something? Let's do it this way, just because. I want to make sure you all still understand that. If our formula wants base times height, you can let any side be the base. So this 8 could be our base. That's fine. As long as you know that that base is one side of a parallelogram. Of course, the parallelogram has another side that's parallel to that base. And so the height to that base is the distance between those 2 parallel sides again, just like in a trapezoid. So this 16, that dimension would be our height. So either way, no matter how the figure is sort of twisted and turned, you still better be able to recognize who's the base, who's the height. So anyway, do the math on this. 128 is the answer. Square meters. Alright. I don't know what number that was. 4. That was 4. Let's do 5. So 5 you could tackle a couple of ways. You should definitely be seeing this as a rectangle, so you could use base times height. But it's also a square, and so square technically has a formula where you just do the length of its side squared. So if you want to do this as 9 times 9, be my guest. If you want to do this as 9 squared, go right ahead. Because of course, either way, you're getting 81 square centimeters. All right, let's do 6. So 6 is a circle. So for circles, you need the formula A equals pi r squared. And then our radius, it's important to notice, our radius is not 10. 10 goes all the way across the circle. So that makes that a diameter. The radius only wants to go from the center to the edge. So the radius, of course, will be half the diameter, so it's 5. So we plug in 5, and 5 squared gives us 25. So technically you have pi times 25. But you'll put the whole number in front of pi. That's just how you're supposed to write it. It's like a coefficient. So it's 25 pi. And those are square meters. And then I'm pretty sure what I'll do for a lot of questions on the quiz is, yes, I'll ask you for the exact answer that still involves pi, but I'll give you a space to give me the rounded off decimal also. So in that space, you got to actually do the calculation. So bring a calculator. Ooh, that doesn't look right. Hold on, give me a sec. The calculator looks weird, but I'll fix it. Sure, that'll work. So there's my calculator that I'm talking about. When you guys go to do this, you'll of course type in 25 pi. So on my little scientific calculator here, I have to say 25 times, press the pi button. I get all these decimal places. I hit enter. I'm getting an answer of 78.54. And again, just to drive the point home, let's pretend for a second that you don't have a scientific calculator. Boop. This is all you got. Just these four functions: add, subtract, multiply, divide, and you don't even have a pi button. So for that we said, if you type 25 times 3.14, you will not get the right answer. You're getting 78.5. And I just said I wanted you to be giving me 78.54, right? You got to be accurate to 2 decimal places. So make sure you remember what I'm saying, which is that you better type 25 times 3.14159. You got to remember a little bit more decimal places of pi, so that now when you hit equals, you're getting a more accurate answer that'll be accurate to 2 places after the decimal, because that's what I'm looking for. So if you say 78.5, you're going to lose half a point. If you say 78.54, you're golden, okay? So that's it for that. Let's move on. So that was 6. We can do 7 now. So 7 says a parallelogram has a height of 14 centimeters and an area of 119 square centimeters. So find the base length. All right. Well, here's where what I was trying to teach you comes in handy. I told you write the formula. And then I told you substitute. And then I told you get an answer. So this might help, because when you write the formula, area equals base times height, and then when you go to substitute, you're not always going to substitute in for the base and height. Sometimes you might actually know the area. And so we're plugging in for A here, 119. We know that the height is 14. So this time our variable is the base over here. And we can see that to solve for that using algebra, we would just have to divide by 14 on both sides. And that'll give us the value of B. And it looks to me like the value of B is going to be, let's just get my trusty calculator, 119 divided by 14. Seems like it's 8.5. And since the measurements were in square centimeters or centimeters, it's going to be centimeters. And that's it for 7. So 8 is the same basic deal. This time it's about a triangle though. So since we're starting with a triangle, our formula would be area equals 1/2. times base times height. The area is 48, so you'll plug that in for A. Then the base is 6, but we don't know the height. So we have to solve for h. So I think the first thing to do, pretty obviously, is just take half of 6 to get 3. And now to get h alone, hopefully everyone knows, we'll just divide by 3. And that'll make those cancel, and we'll get 16. And do make sure you include your units. We were inches, these are inches, we're going to be inches. So that's it for a problem like that. And that might be it in general. Nope, there's a 9. But 9's going to do it, so we'll do 9 right now. Again, just write the formula, right? It's always formula, substitute, answer. So for our formula, it's area equals 1/2 times b1 plus b2 times h. So now we can substitute. Oops, shouldn't have done that. We probably know the area again. Yeah, area is 52. So instead of a, we're substituting in 52. 1/2 is 1/2. The bases. The base lengths are 8 and 12, it says. So we can plug in the 8, we can plug in the 12. And it says find the height. So we know that h is the variable we're solving for. So if I take this slow, then we've got a 52, it equals 1/2 times 20 times h. From there you see we can just do half of 20 to get 10 times h, and then to solve we just divide by 10. So that's going to give us 5.2 as the value of h. And what we got? Inches, inches, inches. So this is inches. That's it. That's your whole homework from worksheet 3. So hopefully that was helpful if you needed it. Tune into the next 4 if you need help. Talk to you Monday.